little angels, come in. Come in, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. What's going on? Oh, you can't sleep? You can't sleep either? None of you? Oh, dear. Okay. And the angel's here. Let me read to you. How's that? You like that idea? Okay. Everyone get comfy. We have lots of seats down here. I still haven't taken the stuff upstairs from yesterday. So both hammocks are over here by the window. Yeah, that's it. So 3 of you comfortably, 4 if you're friendly. The rocking chair's right there, and 2 of you can fit in there. You and you. Perfect. And the meditation cushions are still laid out, so go ahead and get comfy. And the couch is right there, and the tub chairs are both turned around, and I've got some hardback chairs. Okay, everyone make yourselves comfy, and you'll notice, because we're going to relax and could go to sleep, what don't we have? That's right. No lit candles. You can have a night light, you can have lots of light, you can have a sleep mask, you can have LED lights, you can have electronic or battery operated candles, but please, no lit candles. They're dangerous when you're trying to sleep, and you guys are way too important to me. Okay, I thought I'd read down here today. Yeah, I thought it would be nice. Okay, so does anyone want a beverage? I know you're trying to go to sleep. Okay, but I do have some lovely sleepy time tea. Well, I made a pot for myself. Okay, awesome. It's right over there, and you guys know where the milk and, well, I have non-dairy all the way up to full dairy, and I have sweeteners, sugar, raw sugar, agave, Splenda, you name it. Okay, I want you guys to be as comfortable as possible. Does anyone need a blanket? Okay, there's a big pile of knit throws over there. Go ahead and use them. Okay, great. Oh no, that pile over there is being donated this weekend. Okay. All right, help yourselves. Good. Everyone's comfy. I see we have some new little angels. Hi, my new little angels. Thank you so much for being here. Please give it a thumbs up. You can share it. Sharing is caring. If you're comfortable just watching, that's okay. It's fine. I'm just glad you're here. But if you're comfortable commenting, please do. We love the comments on this channel. I love to watch you guys all interact with each other. You're amazing at it. You're so caring. And I love interacting with you. I love knowing what you think, what you feel, your video ideas and suggestions, your gentle criticisms, all of it. So please do that. And when we do that, we connect and make this great big world a little bit smaller, and that's a good thing. And please hit that subscribe button below. And hello to all my returning little angels. Hi guys, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for always giving me your love and your caring and your support. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And please make sure you're still subscribed and keep those comments coming if you're comfortable. Okay, for the new little angels, when we do a reading session like this, we're going to start with a breathing exercise in just a minute or so. And then I read to you. And the books I choose are The Chicken Soup for the Soul. And this one is Kindness Matters. 101 Feel-Good Stories of Compassion and Paying It Forward by Amy Newmark. And I love these books because they're quick. And I can do a couple usually in a night. And there's no illustrations. So if you guys don't want to watch, put on a sleep mask, close your eyes, and just let me go read you to sleep. The other thing you may not know, I never choose the story ahead of time. I have great faith, and I believe that the Spirit will guide me, and I will open it to a story that one of you, or even me, needs to hear today. And I always get comments saying, that was me that needed to hear it. So if it was, let me know. Now, before we begin with the breathing exercises, let me address the furry caterpillar do our box breathing. Oh, I'm sorry, hon, what's that? You don't know what box, and you forget? Okay, let's go over it again. We do this breathing technique whenever we want to relax, rest, sleep, calm ourselves. When we feel anxious, just starting, we can do it. Or when you just need a minute to yourself. You know, when your boss or your teachers, your parents or your kids or your friends, everyone's just driving you crazy. Take a minute, literally, go in the bathroom, go in a closet, go in an office, I don't care. Take a second for yourself. And what we do is we breathe in through our nose for a count of 4. We gently hold it for a count of 4. And then we release through pursed lips slowly for a count of 4. And that is the message to our brain to send it to the rest of our body. It's time to relax and just slow down. Okay? Good. So, are you ready to begin? Alright, breathe in. Gently hold it. And good job. Breathe in. Hold it. And out. You are doing so good. I remember when you could only do 1. You can only do 1. If you can only do 1 or 2, guys, that's okay. You do you, okay? Ready? Hold. That's great. Now, let's get into the book, shall we? Everyone cuddle in. Good. Alright, here. Auntie Angel needs her specs. Alright, let's just open this. And it opened to a very small page, but now these books always start with a quotation. And today is from Charles Dickens, one of my favorites. Okay. No one is useless in the world who lightens the burdens of others. Okay. This one is called The Traveling Ice Scraper. My windshield wipers pushed the icy slush across my windshield as I pulled into a parking spot at the far end of the lot. I glanced at my dashboard clock. Despite the weather, I was only a few minutes late for work. From the look of the half-empty parking lot, however, it seemed I was not the only one who had trouble navigating the storm. I would have loved to remain at home a bit longer this morning, nursing my cup of coffee until the road crews finished clearing the roads. But when you work in a healthcare facility, you're expected to arrive on time at your designated area, no matter what the circumstances. With that in mind, I snapped off the ignition and then gingerly stepped from my car. As I shielded my eyes from the blowing snow, I spotted several night shift staff struggling to remove the layer of ice that had covered their windshields, and they were using nothing more than their gloved hands. Immediately, I reached for the ice scraper I had hastily thrown in my tote bag. It was my favorite, made of sturdy royal blue plastic, with an unusual hot pink stripe down the handle. It didn't matter. They needed it. And as someone who lives by the Boy Scouts motto of always be prepared, I knew I had at least one more ice scraper in the trunk of my car. I approached the woman and handed her the ice scraper. Here, I said, use this. Oh, thank you, she answered, looking a bit taken aback, but extremely grateful. How will I get it back to you? I waved my hand. Just keep it, I said with a smile. It's gonna be a long winter. And then I forgot all about it. But here's the funny thing. Later that week, I saw that same ice scraper in the hands of one of our nurses. After another particularly bitter storm, I spied the scraper's distinctive handle in the palm of one of our van drivers as he cleared the ice from the edges of his vehicle doors. And in the midst of an unexpected spring storm, I spied my sturdy royal blue ice scraper with the unusual hot pink stripe. stripe down the handle, peeking out of the tote bag of one of our administrative assistants. "I'm just curious," I remarked. "Where did you get that cool-looking ice scraper?" "Someone lent it to me last night since I'd left mine at home." I took a close look at the royal blue plastic. It looked a bit worn, but still useful. I don't know how many grateful sets of hands that implement had traveled through since I first let it go, but I certainly never imagined the series of kindness created by my one small act. Monica Anderman. It's true, we have no idea how we affect others. Okay, this is from a chapter called Friends and Neighbors, and this one is Unknown Gifts. And the quotation is by Albert Schweitzer. The quotations are quite small. Okay. At times our own light goes out and is used to rekindle a spark in another person. I believe that. Okay. My husband and I had our first child during the COVID-19 pandemic. We had been planning on having children for years, but it never quite seemed like the right time. When COVID happened, so did a death in our immediate friend circle, and it seemed that waiting was no longer going to be an option. We still lived in the same apartments we rented when we first left graduate school 7 years earlier. We loved this apartment, mainly because it was always so quiet. We loved the apartment, and we loved the bulk of residents that had retired and kept to themselves. Since my husband and I were teaching at the local university, this atmosphere was ideal for us. We didn't want to be around parties or student life any longer. When we first moved in, the residents in our complex were kind when we ran into them, and they seemed interested in having some youthful faces in the building. Throughout my pregnancy, I maintained my exercise routine. It was nothing rigorous, merely walking while listening to audiobooks. Since many of these residents also had dogs, I often saw them when I went out on my walks. While we only exchanged hellos, but as my pregnancy progressed, it became obvious that my husband and I, once graduate students, were now becoming parents. The older residents reached out to us a lot more. They said hello more often, asked when the baby was due, and asked about names. Then I gave birth. It was in the middle of winter, and we were getting a mold situation in our apartment fixed. Days before I went into labor, the super had finally realized that the growing spot we'd been pointing out for the past few months was not merely a lack of cleaning or stained tiles. There was a bad situation underneath the floorboards. We needed our dishwasher and kitchen floor replaced, and we needed it done fast. The super worked harder than I've ever seen anyone just to get this done. Still, she was unable to get the task completed by the time our son was born. The broken dishwasher, which was the cause of the mold, had been removed, and it had been assured that our apartment was now safe. But it was still demoralizing to come home to a gaping hole in our kitchen and dark tiles that we knew were once moldy. It wasn't exactly the homecoming we wanted for our new son, but the super assured us that it would get done. It was just taking a while due to COVID-19. We all remember that. We understood, and we tried to go on with our lives as new parents. One day, just after Easter, when our son was 6 weeks old, I found a note slipped under the apartment door. It was not uncommon for the staff to do this when announcing new changes in management or garbage days, but this was handwritten. It simply said, "Gift outside." I opened the door to find a green package hanging on the handle. I looked around, but no one was in the hallway. I took the package inside and quickly unwrapped an Easter present. a golden yellow duck holding Easter eggs, plus a card that congratulated us on the baby. It was unsigned. I had no idea who sent it, but I was overwhelmed by the kindness of the act. After so much struggle and heartache over our kitchen, and a few post-labor difficulties, this small present brought me so much joy. I immediately wanted to thank the person, but I had no idea how. And then I remembered my Polaroid camera. My husband had brought me a bright pink Instamax camera for Christmas. I grabbed it, I positioned the duck with our 6-month-old son, and I took a photo. He smiled and beamed. He was such a happy baby, even as his parents were grumpy from lack of sleep or needing to do all the dishes by hand. The photo just turned out great. I wrote on the edge of the image, "Thank you," and I taped it to the door. It was gone within the hour, and I still had no idea who to thank. Eventually, I figured out it was one of the many residents who had come to us during the last few weeks of my pregnancy. A girlfriend of the man who lived next door. She'd been thrilled to see a young boy, since he reminded her of her own son. She kept the baby's photo on the fridge, just as we kept her card on ours. What was so wonderful about this act of kindness was the mystery behind it. Not knowing who had sent the gift made me go back through all the people who had suddenly shown us interest and curiosity as we reached the end of our pregnancy. It allowed me to focus on the good inside our apartment complex and not the bad or the floors being fixed or COVID. The floor would get fixed, the dishwasher would be replaced, and our lives would go on to a more even keel. But we would have even more friendliness with all of the neighbors. They knew our names now as well as our sons, and we do more than just greet each other in passing. We are part of one another's lives, not just because of COVID or my son or mold or anything else, but because I finally opened my eyes and saw the kindness that was already there. Eve Morton. That's a great one, isn't it? A great reminder. Okay, how about one more? This one's called A Cup of Coffee. And the quotation is Mother Teresa. We're getting a lot of famous people today. Okay. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. That's true. Okay. It was supposed to be a normal trip to the supermarket. My son was little and getting close to nap time, so I was rushing through the aisles trying to avoid a meltdown. I remember feeling a sense of accomplishment as I got him into the car without any tears. Then I went to start the car and realized my keys were gone. After a few minutes of checking around, I realized that I must have locked them in the trunk with my bags. I wasn't sure what to do, so I took my son out of the car seat and went back inside the store with my cart still full of the groceries. I had to use the payphone to call my husband as he had the spare key, and my phone was in my bag in the trunk. After multiple calls and messages with no answer, I was getting frustrated. My son was tired and was starting to get fussy. I was exhausted from a sleepless night that all moms and dads go through when their kids are teething. When he went into full-on crying, I felt the tears come down my own face too. An employee at the store tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to come with her. I was panicked for a moment, thinking that I was going to be scolded or thrown into the storage area to keep us quiet. The employee, whose name I would later find out was Kelly, took me, to my surprise, to the Starbucks cafe that was outside the store. She asked me if I drank coffee. I said yes, and she walked over to the counter and came back with one for me. She said that it looked like I was having one of those days, and that as a mom, she'd had them too. I told her how stupid I felt locking my keys in the car. She assured me it happened to a lot of people. As we talked, my son settled into a sound sleep in my arms. After about 15 minutes, she said her break was over and she had to go back to work. She said if I couldn't get in touch with my husband, they would call someone to come out and get my trunk open for me. Also, my meat and dairy groceries could be replaced with new ones free of charge. After I got home that day, I kept thinking about what she had done for me, and I wanted to do something for her. Sorry, guys. When I saw her working again at the store, I told her how grateful I was. She would accept nothing in return and asked me only to pay it forward. The store has since closed, and I never saw her again, but I've never forgotten the kindness that she showed me on that day. So Kelly from the Safeway in Delaware, these are the things you have done because I was thinking of your kindness as I did them. Multiple doors held for people, letting someone go ahead of me in line, picking up trash that someone tossed on the ground, hitting yes on the donation button at the checkout, helping a woman with heavy bags, food donations, helping a stranger find her glasses, and so many other things. I am so glad that I locked my keys in the car that day. I know I became a better person because of my encounter with Kelly. Who would have thought one act of kindness could have meant so much and had such an effect on one person? Kelly Onikowski. So they had the same name. That's really good. Oh, I see a lot of you have drifted off. Okay, why don't you close your eyes? It's time to get some sleep.